Hi, my name's Catherine. I'm a fourth year microbiology major, and after taking the course load that I did this semester, my dream literary journal would be on, sorry, environmental justice and ecological equity. All over the news, you're constantly hearing about climate change and pollution and environmental degradation of our oceans, ice caps, our tropical forests, our peatlands, and just about every other type of habitable land or body of water. Each year, more and more damage is done to the planet, and these atrocities to nature are being recorded through scientific evidence and through individual documentation. And thus, I would like to create a journal focusing on highlighting the science behind climate change and the science behind the actions people are taking towards fixing it. Um, in my publication, honestly, as long as it's relevant to the theme of my journal, I'm pretty lax on what material I would find acceptable to be published. I would allow any scholarly articles of any level, whether that's undergraduate, graduate, doctorate, as long as it's on, a topic relevant to environmental justice or ecological equity. I would also accept essays or articles written by enthusiastic individuals who are passionate about a new scientific action being taken towards addressing climate change. I would also accept academic writing on the positive actions people around the world are taking to help the planet. Um, I also think that informative essays on subject matter relative to the theme of my journal would be acceptable. And this is honestly where I'm most broad with my subject matter that I would publish. For example, if someone wanted to submit a paper on the art of beekeeping, I would find that to be just as equally welcome as an article on how environmental degradation more heavily impacts communities of color. The editorial team's ethics should, in theory, be aligned with that of the idea that knowledge is a powerful thing to be shared rather than kept secret or exclusive. And for there to be any large scale change to our environment before it's too late, we must share of both the harsh realities of our climate situation and the promising potential of people's actions towards change. This quote I found really resonated the ethics I believe my editorial team should have towards any submitted publication we receive. Beyond the scientific responsibility to search the horizon of human knowledge, the responsibilities of scientists cannot be any greater than those of any other citizen in our democratic society. The consequences of scientific discoveries are the responsibility of the people. This quote to me means that while it's up to the scientists to be responsible for asking scientific questions and finding out knowledge, it's up to society to use that knowledge responsibly, which is why it's important to share information to give people that opportunity. Another thing is that for my team editorial board, given that this is my dream literary journal, I would obviously be the CEO of the publication and generally have final say on what's published, but I'd also be fair and there would be a vice CEO who could have the power to um veto me with a certain percentage of the rest of the board. Sorry, one second, technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. To end my journal presentation, I'd like to mention two people whose work I would love to publish in my journal. One of them is a writer. Her name is Isabella Grundig, and she is a biomedical engineer who, according to her blog, is incredibly angry with how women's healthcare works and the way in which food is produced. So, like factory farming, monocultures, logging, etc. And she writes passionately in her article, Labs Are the New Farms, about the up and coming biotechnology field of cellular agriculture, which aims to produce meat products to keep up with the rising population demands. This pulls into my journal's theme by discussing positive actions using science towards climate change action, since animal agriculture produces a minimum of 14% of the world's greenhouse gases. The artist I would love to feature in my literary journal, her name is Courtney Madison, and she creates giant sculptures demonstrating the bleaching process occurring at coral reefs around the globe due to anthropogenic impacts. She's a former marine biology student turned sculptor, and honestly, her work is really inspiring. And that is it for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.